Hey, Autistic TikTok. We all see what's going on in Missouri and Florida and New York, right? In Missouri, trans people have had their right to gender-affirming care taken away until they get evaluated for autism and other mental health diagnoses. And if they are found to have any of those, they have to be resolved before they're allowed access to their gender-affirming care. As we know, autism can't be resolved. So this is basically a way to take away the right to gender-affirming care from anybody deemed autistic or mentally ill. This should be terrifying to everybody, not just because it's denying basic human rights to an entire population of people, but because it's just the first step on a series of tying together autism and mental diagnoses with not being allowed to have rights. Once it happens in one state, it makes it a lot easier for other states to follow suit. What's happening in New York is that yesterday the NYPD announced that they would be using some kind of training to give cops the tools and skills to recognize autism in the field. I'm a person whose sibling was shot to death by cops in a homeless shelter while having an autistic meltdown. I have a lot of big feelings about the idea of cops being able to recognize or handle autism. We can't even accept that autistic people who do hundreds of hours of research are able to determine whether or not they are autistic based on their own lived experience, but we're going to empower and entrust cops to make that determination in high pressure situations in split seconds? Yeah, I don't think so. But once something is taken foot in New York, it makes it a lot easier for other cities and states to pass similar kinds of things, saying, oh, well, we're going to empower cops to recognize autism. I don't like that. I 100% believe that this is going to lead to an increase in violence towards autistic people. And if you get pegged as autistic by a cop one time, is that going to follow you around any other time that you interact with the cops? How are they going to handle that? Are they going to be trained on communication skills to de-escalate situations where autistic people are involved, or are they going to recognize autism as a weakness and use it to intimidate and bully people further? I can see things like this taking foot across the country in the next couple of years, and that is terrifying. I know that I am already absolutely terrified of cops, as are most autistic people that I know. Most of us never want to be perceived by one. And of course, in Florida, we have the whole fucking disaster of everything that is going on for trans people down there, to the point where people are mass migrating out of the state if they can. The laws that are passing in Florida are going to be emulated elsewhere. And I definitely think Florida will take a page out of Missouri's book and start tying trans identities to autism, which is just going to empower them to also take action against people based on autism. We've already seen what they are willing to do to trans people. Don't think that being autistic but not trans is going to save you from that same fate, or save autistic children from those same fates. I believe the latter is going to look like taking rights from trans people, then the rest of the LGBTQIA community, then the autistic community, then the mental health community, then other disabled people community, and then it's going to go on to white women, and then it'll go to men who are people of color. This has happened before, and this is what we should be talking about. We should be joining forces across community lines, not getting caught up in minutia and drama about early versus late diagnosis.